Oh, fucking hell. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. You thirsty, partner? Hello and welcome back to the Thirsty Foreman channel. Thank you for tuning in. If you're liking the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Lets me know that you're enjoying the content. It will hopefully help that algorithm and boost the popularity boost the popularity of the channel over time. So we're doing something a little bit different today. So we're not going to any sort of pubs at all. But we will still be trying out plenty of beer for you. Actually, today we are on our way to the Basingstoke Beer Festival. The Basingstoke Beer Festival. Tried to do a little bit of research and a bit of background into it. Couldn't find too much, to be honest with you. But yeah, if I'm being honest, I just want to get in there, try out some of the beers, because I've seen that there should be a lot of various different craft beers, cask beers, and maybe some ciders as well. So I want to get in there, show you what it's all about. Not quite sure what type of style video I'm going to be doing for you just yet, whether it's going to be like a vlog type a vlog type video, or just giving you some of the key highlights, and just a bit of a show of the place generally. Not sure yet, but I'm sure I'll figure that out over time. So, because it's going to be the first type of video where we're not just going to be reviewing one pub. So, a little bit different, but a little bit exciting. So, yeah, we're heading to the Basingstoke train station now. So on our last stop. So, yeah, so I'm just going to cut it out to you now, and I'll resume the video when I'm there at Basingstoke. So we have now arrived at the Basingstoke Beer Festival. You can see behind me there, this is the field where we're all at. Admittedly, I was expecting it to be a little bit bigger, but we're going to be trying it, go in there, we're going to try out some of the different beers that's on offer, and try a little bit of the food, and we're going to, just see what it's like. See you in a bit. Right, hello. So I'm outside the Basingstoke Beer Festival now for you. So I'm just going to quickly give you a tour for the board. There's quite a lot on offer. Just let's see. So I think, if we count them all there's about 40 different beers. So wooden beers, beer ciders, all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to try one in a sec. Right, so now I've got my pint in place. So one of the good things about this festival is that you get the first 2 pints here free. So I'm going to be testing out this first free pint that I've got. It's a 5.5% IPA that I'll be posting on the board right now because I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, we can see from here that it's a cask beer. Again, there's not that much head to it. It's a slightly darker colour than I was expecting. I was expecting a light colour, I must admit. And it does seem flat, but we're going to give it a go, give it a taste, and I'm going to give my verdict on it for you. So, what do I reckon on first taste? First taste, it's not the best, I must admit. It's the craft. I'm a craft beer guy, and this doesn't really come across as I do find it a bit too a bit too close to real ale, I think. So for me, it's not that great at all. But we're going to give it a proper taste now, and I'm going to see if I agree with that first one. Yeah, so That definitely doesn't wet the whistle, I'm afraid. That's a big no-no for me. It's a bit too bitter in my eyes. Not fruity at all. So it's not hitting the right notes for me. And yeah, that certainly doesn't wet the whistle. So ratings on that, I think I'm afraid I'm gonna have to give that. Oh, let's look at ratings. I'm gonna have to give that probably a 4.6. I'm afraid. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. But yeah, that's my verdict on that one. One quick correction I wanted to make on the previous footage. The first 2 pints were only free if you signed up to the Campaign for Real Ale organisation, so the beers were not as cheap as first expected. My mate who joined me had a golden ale named Satisfaction, which was brewed by the brewery Triple F in the nearby village of Alton. He gave similar reviews to the IPA that I tried, but gave it a rating of 5.6 out of 10. Right, so I am on pint number two. Well, I say pints, but I actually am on a half. So, because the head on this was absolutely massive. You could see on my shorts I posted on the various platforms, the head was up to here, it was half and half. So, got a free dessert with your beer. But this beer specifically, it's a 5.4% double dry hops pale ale by the brewer called Dark Revolutions. I think this is a brewer based in Salisbury, so very close to me, very local. This is looking a hell of a lot better than the first one, I must say. I mean, I wanted a bit more head. I certainly did get that, or the size of the head on this bad boy. Let's give it a taste and a bit of a whirl, and I can give my verdict on it. So I couldn't down that one this time, so I wanted to have my beer last a bit more than 5 seconds. But this one is way better. I mean, yes, the head was a lot larger on this. I was told that it was due to an airlock that they're struggling to get around, and yeah, struggling to get serve a proper pint as a result. But the actual beer itself is way better. So it's a lot frothier. So this reminds me a bit of a wheat beer, and it does look that way as well. So when I'm thinking of that, I'm comparing it to the sick wheat beers I've had in the past. So, for example, yeah, Erdingers, maybe like German beers around that sort of area. What am I going to rate them? It's a million times better than that first pint that I had. But yeah, what am I going to rate them? That's a good solid pint. Not the best pint I've ever had in my life, but it's a good solid pint. Yeah, 7.6 is my rating on this pint. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Moving on to my mate's second pint, he had a cider named Raspberry Ripple, which is a 4% cider brewed by brewers named Snailbank in Herefordshire. His thoughts was that it was smooth, not fizzy, with notes of sweetness and raspberry, but the main review was one-worded in the form of dangerous, because he can drink it like squash. So he gave it a rating of 8.2 out of 10. Right, so I am on my third drink of the day. So today I decided to mix it up, the third one. So I've gone for a traditional sweet cider. So I think this. So I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was a 5.2% traditional sweet cider. I think it was done by the brewer called Thundering Marches, I believe it is. So I might be a little bit wrong, but if so, I will post up the information on the board because I did take a picture of this for you. So 5.2% cider. So maybe I was reading, yeah, maybe I should have read the poster a bit more, but I was expecting more of a spark inside of it. As you can see, there was a bit of a head to it, but it's settled down now. It's been no head at all. You can see it's not sparkling. It does look flat. But let's give it a taste and see what I think of it. Yeah, definitely not right. Sorry, they're definitely not wrong when they say it's sweet. Very, very sweet. Well, wait, So look, for a still cider, that's one of the better still ciders that I've had. Yeah, I think look, I've definitely had a lot worse fruit ciders in the past. So I think when I want ciders, I normally do want something sweet, maybe a little tart, but not too tart. So I'm finding it a bit too hard to drink. But all in all, what am I going to give this one? Let me think. I think it's good cider all in all. It's not the best cider I've ever had. So I might want to try the sparkling cider that was next to the image that you saw. Uh, Number 38, I believe it is. But if I'm going to be racing that, let me think. I'm going to give that. I'll give that a good solid 6.2. I think it is on the rating. So that's my thoughts on the cider. So now I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour of the rest of the pints I've noted down that my mate drank, which I wrote good notes to. This is due to the fact that as the drinks went on, it seemed my ability to produce decent notes along with the accompanying footage went down rapidly, I must say. But anyway, next beer he had was a 4.8% pale ale named Lovely Nancy, brewed within the same town as the festival in Basingstoke by the brewer's Long Dog. This he found okay, but had better pints in the past, so he rated that a 6.2 out of 10. This was then followed up by another pale ale at 3%, and this was called the Trinity Pale Ale, and brewed by brewers named Redemption in Tottenham. This one he unfortunately didn't like due to it having a bitter first gulp, but this was perhaps due to him having a cider to this previously, so he rated this a 4.9 out of 10. I'm also going to give a quick whistle-stop mention of the food due to lack of footage and to get back to the beer rating. There was only one food option to choose from, and that was the Greek kitchen setup. I went for the pork gyro wrap. Yes, I probably pronounced it wrong, sue me for it. But yes, the chips were crisp and there was good flavour to the tzatziki, and the salad was fresh. And although the meat wasn't bad, I felt that it could have been a bit crispier to bring it to the next level. So therefore I gave it a rating of 7.5 out of 10. Right, so I'm on my fourth tipple of the day. So as you've seen, I've drunk a bit because I was going to, on my first take, I was going to be, you would have seen me drunk it from the top, but the cameraman has fucked it up and he has put it in photo mode to take a picture of me with the pint rather than a video. But never mind, let's get back to the pint. So I've gone for a cream stout, so 6.5% stout, done by a brewery in Norfolk, I believe it is. So I'll post the details of that for you right now, because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, as you can see, beforehand there wasn't that much of a head to it, and still there's no head to it now. So let's give it a good try and see what I think. So I'm not 100% sure, just based on first impressions, but let's give it a go. I'm going to give you my verdict on that. Oh, fucking hell. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. No, I can't lie. That's not my cup of tea. I can't lie. That. I'm getting strong notes of coffee. I can easily taste the coffee from that far a mile away. Whether I get vanilla, possibly some real faint notes of vanilla, but it's dominated so heavily by that coffee. You have to have a very, very keen eye to try and decipher that from the coffee. So, but for me, it's really not that great. It's not. I like my Guinness, I like my Murphy's, but whether that's going to convert me to other stouts in the future, I'm really not so sure. That is really not for me. No. So how am I going to rate this? Let's have a think. I'm trying to think what I rated my first pint of the day. So, first pint of the day, I'll probably like this either just as much or a bit less than my first pint. I rated that 4.6 at the time. I'll probably like it. I'll probably like it a little bit less than that. I think very slightly, but it is a tiny bit less. So I think I'm going to have to give this a 4.5 out of 10 as a result. Right, hello. So it's a number, I think it's a pint number 5 of the day, or at least drink number 5 of the day. So I'm trying the alchemy cider. So this is done by a brewery in Beaminster. So it's a sparkling cider. It's 6.5%. It is done by a certain variety of apples. So how it's described on the beer menu at the time. I can't remember the exact apples at the time, but I will post that right now for you, just so you know the exact type of apples that was used for the cider. So you see from there, you can see that there was previously some bubbles that came from the cider. So it does hint that it was at least somewhat sparkling. So I would at least somewhat expect it to be a bit more sparkling if they're advertising it as a sparkling cider, but we're going to at least give it a bit of a go. There is some sort of like sparkles on the heads, you can see there. But yeah, let's give it a try, and I'm going to give my verdict on you. Give my verdict on what this cider was like. Right, so again, it's a bit on the flat side for my liking. When I'm reading and hearing about a sparkling cider, I want it to be sparkling. I want it to be popping off in my mouth. I want it to be bouncing about. I want it to know. I want to know the sparkles that's going on. I want to see that, but I want to feel that carbon dioxide just popping off in my mouth. So, as I'm not feeling that, that will automatically lower my rating. So I want to feel the fizziness when I'm drinking the cider. So, but overall, it is sweet. When I compare it to the previous cider that I had, it was less sweet. But I'm trying to think about it. Do I think that it's better that it's less sweet than the previous cider? So, in my personal preference, I want it to be not too sweet, because I don't want it to be like sickly and syrupy, but at the same time I do want some sweetness to a cider. So I want to know that I'm having apples. Apples are naturally sweet over time. Let me give a think. On the rating. So because it's flat, I do have to downgrade it for that. So it definitely does not breach the 7 barrier, in my opinion. But if I'm going to give it a final rating, a final ranking, what do I give it? I'm going to give that a 6.5. I think that's a fair rating for cider. I think it's nice and sweet in flavour, but it's not fizzy and not sparkling, and that's what I do expect to have in a sparkling cider as described on the menu. So I am on my final pint review of the day. So I have had a few, I must admit to you, but final one to seal off the day. So we're on a Nipper. So it is when you say 5.8% Nipper for you. So Nipper or Niper, however you pronounce it. It is done by a brewer. I believe it's in Norfolk. I will clarify for that you now. If I am wrong in the picture, I will overwrite the picture to make sure that I am right, just to make sure that it is fine. So 5.8% is at £5.50 a pint, which I think is very reasonable as well. So, but yeah, we're looking at the point right now. Again, I was expecting more of a head. Maybe that's just me. I just love a very good head. Don't we all?
But yeah, we haven't got a very good head to this pint. It's not bubbly. It's quite flat compared to like some of the other previous pints we've had. But let's give it a whirl, give it a taste. No judgment at this moment in time. I could be very wrong in what I think, but yeah, let's give it a whirl and see what I think. Oh, okay. Fuck it. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay, so analysing this, it is as it looks. As it looks, it is flat as a pancake. Can't lie to you. No bubbles, no heads. There's nothing to give. Yeah, it will not give you anything in terms of like bubbles ahead. That I normally quite like when I'm downing, at least when I'm downing a good quantity of beer, good quantity of pint. So it does not give that for you. In terms of like taste as well, it does give some fruity vibes, but if I'm going to compare this to like fruity pints that I really really like, this really does not. It does not stand up to the test of time when I'm going to compare it to the really fruity pints that I like. So compared to your Club Tropicas and pints around that sort of ilk, so I don't think it does stand up to that. So how I'm going to review it? Let's have a little look. It's not the worst pint of the day. I'm going to give you that for sure. So therefore, yeah, it's gonna at least go up somewhat in the ratings compared to the others. But how am I going to give this overall? Does this breach the 7 barrier? I don't think so. Does this? So it does definitely fit within the 6s. So how am I going to give this a rating? I'm going to give this. I think 6.3 is a fair rating for this beer because of how flat and how how uninteresting it is as a pint. So I think 6.3 is my fair result on this beer. Over and out.
So, a quick recap of the day now, as I'm aware that I've waffled on for long enough. So, on the screen now, you can see how I ranked the beer and done calculations for it. So feel free to give it a pause if you care about that sort of stuff in detail. This got an overall rating of 6.6. Moving on then to the cleanliness, where I have given this an 8 out of 10 for being as clean as most of the places I've been to. The vibes was 6.3 due to the place being tiny and very quiet compared to what I was expecting, but gradually it picked up throughout the day, which I think it probably would have got better if we stayed even longer. So with all of this factored in alongside the food rating, which I gave a 7.5, this gave an overall total average rating of 7.1. So certainly not the worst event held on the planet, but certainly room to improve on though, which I do hope it will improve as we visit more festivals. So if you have enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I can't thank you all enough for the support as I look to grow the channel and reach my first milestone of 100 followers. If I can reach that, I'll look to create a special video for all you folks. But until then, and next time on a Thirsty Foreman channel, it's over and out.